Hey everyone. Feeling a little overwhelmed by all the information out there. Yeah, me too.
It's like drinking from a fire hose sometimes, right?
That's a great way to put it. But, well, we're diving deep today into something really interesting.
Oh, yeah.
Robert Greene's Diary of a CEO interview.
Oh, I love that podcast.
Yeah,
Greene is such a fascinating thinker.
yeah, he is.
hmm
And in this interview, he really gets into human nature.
The stuff we all want to know.
Right, like what makes us tick,
Yeah.
why we do the things we do. And he doesn't shy away from the tough stuff, like narcissism.
Oh, yeah, he talks about that.
Yeah, he actually says we're all a bit narcissistic.
Hmm. Interesting. In what way?
Well, not in like a clinical sense, but, we all crave attention. Right.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Validation. We want to be liked. It's natural.
Exactly. But he makes this really important distinction between what he calls healthy narcissism and what he calls deep narcissists.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I can see how that would be important. So how do you tell the difference?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
Right.
Um, well, healthy narcissism is like, it's that self-belief we need to put ourselves out there.
Right. To go after our goals, without that, we'd never get anything done.
Exactly. But deep narcissists,
Hmm.
they take it too far. They lack empathy. They manipulate others. It's all about them
Mm.
all the time.
Ah, I see. So like they use people.
Yeah, yeah. And it can be really toxic.
So how do we spot these deep narcissists? What are the warning signs, do you think?
Well, Greene doesn't give like a specific checklist or anything in this interview,
Okay.
but he really stresses paying attention to how people treat others,
Right.
especially when they think no one is watching.
Actions speak louder than words, I guess.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Do they use their charm to get what they want?
Uh-huh.
Are they constantly looking for validation?
Oh, well, that's a good one.
Do they, really lack genuine empathy?
Yeah.
These are all things to watch out for, I think.
That's really helpful. It's like you said, it's about knowing how to navigate those relationships.
Right.
Yeah.
It's about protecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And, Greene also talks about this other powerful human drive that can be just as tricky. Envy.
Oh, envy.
Yeah. He actually says that 90% of our actions are driven by it.
90%, really?
Wow. Right? It's like, wait, really?
That seems like a lot.
Doesn't it? But before you write him off as a total cynic,
Okay.
he makes this really interesting point.
Mm-hmm.
He's not saying that envy is always a bad thing.
Interesting.
It's about understanding its influence, recognizing it.
Right. Because we all feel it, right?
Yeah.
Whether we admit it or not.
Exactly. Like, think about it. Haven't you ever felt a little twinge of envy
Oh, sure.
that actually pushed you to work harder or to improve yourself in some way?
Yeah, I can definitely see that. Like when you see someone achieving something you admire, it can be motivating.
Right. Like maybe you see a colleague get a promotion
Or a friend buys their dream house.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
and instead of getting all bitter and resentful,
Which is easy to do.
you use it as fuel, as motivation.
Yeah. So it can actually be a positive force if you harness it the right way.
Exactly. And that's what I love about Greene.
Mm-hmm.
He's not afraid to tackle these, these kind of uncomfortable emotions
Right.
and show us how they can actually be used for good. But okay, so if we're not supposed to suppress envy,
Right.
how do we make sure it doesn't, turn into something destructive?
Well, he talks about self-awareness,
Okay?
really examining those feelings, like when you feel that pang of envy, ask yourself, what is it about that person's success that's triggering this feeling in me?
Mm-hmm.
Is this something I genuinely value?
Oh, interesting.
Or am I just caught up in keeping up with the Joneses?
Well, that's a good.
Yeah. And, if it is something you genuinely value, then great. Use that as inspiration to set new goals for yourself.
Right.
But if it's not something you truly care about,
Yeah.
maybe it's a sign you need to reevaluate your own priorities.
Yeah. So it's about, like, turning envy into a compass, pointing us towards what really matters to us. I love that.
Me too. It's a great way to look at it. And, this whole conversation about envy and narcissism, it actually ties into another really important topic that Greene brings up, loneliness.
Yeah, he talks about that.
Yeah, he does. And this one really hit home for me.
It's a big issue, isn't it?
It is. He cites some pretty alarming statistics about the negative effects of loneliness on our health. It's like smoking 15 cigarettes a day
Real.
in terms of its impact on our well-being.
It's a silent epidemic, isn't it?
Exactly. And Greene himself has been really open about his own struggles with loneliness and depression. And it's actually in this context that his concept of finding your life's task becomes so important.
Okay. So we've talked about narcissism, we've talked about envy, And now loneliness. How does finding your life's task fit into all of this?
Well, Greene argues that finding your purpose, that thing that gives you a sense of meaning and direction, it's essential for overcoming loneliness
Mhm.
and for achieving true fulfillment.
Like connecting with something bigger than yourself.
Exactly. And, he's often asked by young people, what should I do with my life?
It's a question we all grapple with at some point, right?
Absolutely. And Greene is really clear. There is no easy answer. There is no magic formula. It's a journey of self-discovery.
That's powerful. And he actually outlines 5 key steps to help us navigate that journey.
Oh, yeah. The 5 steps. We should definitely dive into those next.
We definitely will. But first, I think it's worth taking a moment to reflect on these foundational ideas.
Yeah.
What are your initial thoughts on Greene's take on narcissism and envy? Do any of his insights resonate with your own experiences?
Yeah. I'd love to hear what you're thinking.
Okay, so these 5 steps that Greene outlines for finding your life's task.
Yeah.
These sound super interesting.
I think they're really helpful. And he starts with something that might surprise you.
Oh.
He says the first step is to actually reject the need for a simple answer.
Oh, wow. Okay, so he's not going to give us a quick fix.
Nope. Not at all. Because, we're so used to wanting those easy solutions.
Right. Like a 5-step plan to happiness.
Exactly. But when it comes to finding your purpose, your life's task, Greene says you gotta embrace the complexity. Life's messy, right?
It is.
And so is the path to finding your purpose.
Okay, so step 1, except there's no one-size-fits-all answer.
Exactly. What about step 2?
What's that?
It's about cultivating a sense of urgency.
Urgency. Okay.
Yeah. He uses this analogy.
Yeah.
Imagine yourself 5 years from now.
Okay, 5 years from now.
If the thought of not having pursued your passions, your dreams, if that fills you with discomfort,
Uh-huh.
that's good.
Really? Discomfort is good.
That discomfort is urgency talking. It's the fuel that'll propel you forward.
So it's like that feeling of, if not now, when?
Exactly. We let fear and complacency hold us back for too long.
Yeah. Sometimes you just need that little push to get started.
100%. Okay, step 3.
Okay, step
This
3.
one's important. Tune out the external noise. The noise.
Yeah. All those messages we're constantly bombarded with, right? About what we should be doing, what success should look like.
Oh, yeah. It's so easy to get caught up in comparing yourself to others.
Especially in the age of social media, right?
Everyone else has it all figured out.
But true fulfillment comes from aligning with your own values.
Your own passions, your own path.
Yes. Greene even suggests going back to your childhood.
Oh, interesting.
Think about what excited you as a kid before the world told you what you should be excited about.
I love that. Reconnecting with that inner spark.
Exactly. Okay, ready for the final 2 steps?
Hit me with them.
Step 4. This one builds on that idea of looking back at your childhood, but it's also about the present. It's about rediscovering your natural inclinations.
What do you mean by that?
What energizes you? What are you naturally drawn to?
Like, what do you lose track of time doing?
Yes. Those things that feel effortless, that's where your talents lie.
Okay. That makes sense. And step 5.
Treat the whole process as an adventure. Okay, I like this already.
It's not about having all the answers.
Right.
It's about the exploration.
The experimentation.
Embrace the uncertainty, the possibility of failure. It's all part of the journey.
It's about the growth, the learning.
Exactly. Finding your life's task isn't a destination. It's the journey itself.
I love that.
Yeah.
But, we've been talking about this, like, it applies to everyone. But what about people who are a little further along in life?
Yeah.
What if you feel like it's too late to change course? What does Greene say about that?
Yeah.
It's a question a lot of us have, I think.
Yeah.
Like, what if you're in a career that it doesn't do it for you anymore?
Yeah.
Or maybe you just haven't found that thing, that purpose yet.
Right.
Is there still time?
Well, Greene doesn't sugarcoat it.
Okay.
He says it's definitely more challenging to make a big change later in life.
Oh, yeah. Why is that?
Our minds, they get less flexible as we age.
Oh, that makes sense.
And, we build our lives around our careers, our routines.
So it's like there's this inertia.
Exactly. And it feels riskier, right, to make a change when you've got more to lose.
You've got a mortgage, kids.
Yeah, responsibilities.
Yeah.
And, something Greene has noticed talking to older folks, a common regret is not taking action sooner.
Oh, that's tough.
Yeah, they wish they'd explored more, taken more chances when they were younger.
But that doesn't mean it's hopeless, right?
Not at all. Greene really believes it's never too late
Okay, good.
to pursue what matters to you.
So how do you do that? when you feel like you've missed the boat.
Well, he says the experience you've gained, the skills you've developed over the years,
Hmm.
those are huge assets
Yeah.
when you're trying something new.
Like reframing your experiences, right?
Exactly. It might take some creativity, stepping outside that comfort zone.
But it can be done.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But there's this big reason why people stay stuck, even when they're unhappy.
What's that?
Fear.
Oh, fear. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. Fear of the unknown, fear of failure, fear of, financial instability.
It can be paralyzing.
It really can. We cling to what's familiar, even if it's not good for us.
It's like we're choosing the certainty of misery over the uncertainty of growth.
Yeah. But Greene reminds us this avoidance comes at a cost.
Oh, yeah.
When we deny our true selves, when we're not doing work that feels meaningful, it impacts us deeply.
Okay.
And he brings it back to the brain. He loves the brain.
He does. He does.
He says, the brain, it's the most powerful organ in the universe.
Wow.
And if we're not using it, if we're not challenging it,
Yeah.
we wither. We become depressed, anxious, unfulfilled.
So it's not just about like external success. It's
Yeah.
about honoring our potential.
Exactly. And I think that's what makes Greene's work so powerful.
Yeah. He makes you think.
He really does.
So as we wrap up this deep dive into Robert Greene's thoughts on human nature, I want us to leave our listeners with this. It's never too late to start exploring what really lights you up.
That's so important.
Whether you're just starting out
Yeah.
or you're feeling stuck. Remember what we talked about today?
Embrace the uncertainty.
Tune out that noise.
Reconnect with those passions.
Yeah.
Treat it all as an adventure.
And don't let fear hold you back.
The journey itself is part of the reward.
So what's one small step you can take today to move closer to that life you envision? Think about it. And until next time, keep seeking, keep exploring, and keep diving deep.